Today we're going to kill two birds with one stone by doing an update on the first 3D printed house in Virginia by Alquist 3D in Richmond, and also discussing why automated construction solutions like 3D printing aren't a threat to your construction job. We'll get into many reasons in this video, with a big surprise at the end for the channel. Just take a look at this footage I took from a construction site using the Alquist printer in Virginia. They have a ton of people on the job site. These people are getting paid, and so you can't expect this technology to erase the need for any human labor. Especially at this early learning stage in the 3D printed construction process, people are critical for their problem-solving skills. The robot can't figure out how to fix issues that it might run into, and so you need a person at the mixer pump and a person behind the extruder head to rapidly address and mitigate anything that might come up during the print. This stuff might sound technical and challenging, but even the people you see doing it now only got started recently, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility to learn fairly quickly. Alquist has printed 2 homes and already seen enormous improvement from the first to second in terms of efficiency. Here we see the first home, which has since been framed out. I did a tour of it, which we have later on in this video. The house is not complete, obviously, but the printer has already moved on to the next site because the rest of the work has to be done by people. This is the main reason why you don't need to fear construction jobs being taken away by technology. You still have the roofing, windows, doors, floors, kitchen, cabinets, electrical, plumbing, the slabs, paint, and maybe a sprinkler fitter that also need to come on site and earn money for their labor. I would love to see all of those things get automated in the future, but that's not happening anytime soon. And most young people are choosing to go into jobs that work with their minds behind a desk rather than labor jobs on site. We actually have somewhat of a shortage in construction labor. One of the biggest reasons why people in manual labor jobs don't need to fear 3D printers taking their jobs is because you'll never see every home being built the same way. There's so much variety in architecture, design preferences, and even regional zoning that homes are constructed in a huge variety of ways. Even if every single subcontractor could be automated and the work completed by a machine with no human labor, people would still want handmade homes, and they would probably in that scenario pay a premium for them. In my opinion, there are probably not enough young people going into skilled labor jobs and too many pursuing degrees that don't have much real-world application. In my travels around the world learning about 3D printed construction technologies, I've actually found there are many founders who have developed this technology, which is, I would say, engineering at a high level without attending college. This technology isn't going to be taking away any jobs, but it will be changing some of them, and it won't be putting them out of reach of people that don't have degrees. There are many people on the construction sites I visit that don't have degrees and are learning to work with this technology. You just need to understand the job. And it's so new. Even the world's greatest experts have only completed a handful of homes themselves. So by the time you get 2 or 3, you'll be among the most experienced. You can easily enter this field without a college degree, but if you do want to go to college, it might be an ideal choice to go with engineering. Now let's move on to a short interior tour of this house before we get a word from the Alquist team. I'm back at the first 3D printed house in Virginia. Now that the roof is done, it really starts to look like a house. They chose to use 2x4 studs, and now you can see the floor plan of this building is 3 bedrooms, 2 on the left side, master bedroom on the right side with a master bath. They've chosen to frame out this wall and leave this one exposed. Allowing the owner to see the layers of concrete will show the personality of this printed home, but leaving some walls framed with sheetrock will leave it so that they don't always have to be looking at 3D printed walls. It's so much more common to see unfinished 3D printed homes on this channel than completed ones, but we have some of those coming soon too. These projects usually take longer to complete with the human labor aspects than the printing. I know the audio quality there was terrible. I just invested in a new Rode mic that I'll be using for future videos. Like I said, this house is the first one Alquist built with their 3D printer from Cobod. Cobod sent their team members Matthias and Alma, who we've seen on this channel before, to Virginia to train Alquist and their team on how to operate the printer. Pretty soon I'll have an update video from the second 3D printed house Alquist did in Williamsburg, Virginia. You'll see in a minute the layers. This team has developed their own 3D printed flaps that they're able to attach to the extruder head. You can hear Eamon describe that from the first video I did with them in Williamsburg. But now, here's Zach Mannheimer.
Some of the imperfections that you see was issues of over-extrusion or under-extrusion. Part of that was directly due to the heat that we are experiencing. Another issue that we had was the hose. The pulley system for the hose still needs some tweaking. And once we got to certain parts in the house, it was challenging for the hose to move in the right direction, which made the concrete over-extrude or under-extrude. And part of it's just straight up a learning process. This was our first time doing this. So when you see some imperfections like here, and then you see sort of the opposite over here, it's probably due to the heat hitting at that moment and that changing the dynamic of the home itself. So we're still learning how to deal with that. Perry's actually been very helpful with that. One of the things they were sharing with us is that we need to print faster. We did this fairly slow. You know, our layer times averaged between 10 and 12 minutes. Really, we should have been between 6 and 8 minutes. But we wanted to take this slow and do it right. That may have been a reason why we had some imperfections. And that's something we're experimenting with right now in Williamsburg.
For the next probably 4 to 5 months, we'll be taking time to train additional staff, test a variety of different materials, and just get our process down pat so we can come out in 2022 to do our next jobs. It's a clean and smooth process. So here at Alquist, we are currently trying to grow our team. The goal is by the end of year or the beginning of 2022 to have several machines purchased and under our fleet of printers. We're actively looking for people interested in 3D printing, either be operators, material scientists, or anyone wanting to get into the process for running the stuff on site, as well as creating designs, interior components, as well as designing a house to be able to be printed. We'll be headquartered out of Richmond, and so if you're in the area, stop on by or reach out to us at alquist3d.com.
Thanks for watching, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to check out a free demo of the virtual village, you can see 360 models of every 3D printed building I visit from the comfort of your own home. Check that out in the link below. Use the code EARLYBIRD and get 15% off.